Well, I have decided to accept the invitation to participate in the Older Adult Ministries Task Force because I feel like it's vital to the work that we're doing, both with the National Episcopal Health Ministries and National Episcopal AIDS Coalition. I think that as we increase the health and the ability for people to participate fully in the life of the church as they grow older, we increase the quality of life for everyone in the congregation. And the more that people can remain active and healthy and vibrant in the church, they're allowed to participate longer into their life, which is always a good thing. But another thing is that it frees up resources to do new programs, because instead of making a lot of hospital visits to a bunch of people who are sick, if those people are active and able to participate fully, that allows you to direct your energies into some other ways, maybe self-renewal for the clergy, which is always an issue. That allows them to then, really impact the life of the church in a positive way. People should be behind the work of the Older Adult Ministries Task Force because hopefully we will all be older adults one day. And so, the work that we're doing now, in addition to serving the current members of the church, really lays the foundation for us to serve the later generations as well. And so what we really are hoping is that as the church considers the needs of older adults in their current state, but also the evolving needs of older adults, we feel like that's going to enhance our church, it's going to enhance our community and our fellowship, it's going to allow more people to participate in the lives of our church. And when we address the needs of older adults, it doesn't only affect those older adults, it also affects people with disabilities. It affects able-bodied people who now have the ability to interact with maybe some people who might have been excluded had we not made some reasonable and simple accommodations.
I decided that I wanted to be a part of the task force on older adult ministries because it exemplifies one of the real keys of the church, which is lifelong Christian formation. I am very passionate about children and youth ministries, but I'm also very much an advocate for lifelong formation, and one doesn't work without the other. Children don't exist without adults, and they don't exist without older adults, and the church is really the one place every week where most people encounter multi-generations, encounter all of the generations between birth and death. My vision as the co-convener for the Older Adults Task Force is that we change the dialogue as a church on what aging is. That aging is not some horrific thing that happens to us. Aging is part of who we are as created by God. Aging is a gift. It is something that we are afraid of because it's an unknown. And the unknown is very hard to deal with. But part of who we are as created by God is being to encounter the unknown on a daily basis. The gift for aging is the fact that it's not a complete unknown because we have an entire reality of people who've gone before us. We individually may be experiencing it for the first time, but there are always guides around us for how do I encounter this? How do I do it? I believe the Older Adult Task Force is called to be a beacon for the church, be a loud voice for the church, to proclaim that there are real issues in relation to aging and in relation to us aging as a people of God that are not being addressed by society. The church has always been countercultural, and an incredibly countercultural message right now would be a bullhorn on we have real issues as a society. We have an aging population, and there are challenges that we aren't ready to face yet, and we need to begin to face them. I think it's interesting that we call the Older Adult Ministries a task force and not a committee or a commission within the church structure. A task force is something that has a limited time, that it has a limited task, something that they get in and get out and you accomplish. There isn't any way to accomplish in one triennium the work of changing our dialogue on aging. This is, in some respects, probably some of the most significant work that the church is going to engage in. And we can't do that in 3 years. We can't do it in 6 years. We probably can't do it in 12. Because the challenges are going to increase. Our population is aging, and it's only going to get more intriguing from here on.
I've been very passionately concerned for many years back in the 1980s about the need for the Episcopal Church to be involved with older adults. And what I was seeing was a lot of older adults who were lost, so to speak. They suddenly didn't come to church, and then nobody knew about them, and we didn't seem to have mechanisms to keep people connected to congregations. It's exciting to me today to jump forward to be a part of the Older Adult Ministry Task Force, because suddenly things are happening, and that's exciting. It's rewarding, and it just, because I was envisioning the increasing numbers of older people, and that we were not prepared, and now I think we're at least beginning to catch up. And there have been some exciting things that are supporting that in terms of materials related to lifelong learning. Suddenly people are really interested that, when we say we'll support this person in their baptism through the rest of their life in Christ, suddenly it has more meaning. And that to me is exciting.